Hey everyone, Travis here at the CLG house with Aphromoo, formerly of CLG, now back at the CLG house, also on Curse for a short period of time, I believe, about 24 hours. Yeah. So, Aphromoo, why are you back at the CLG house?
I'm back to kick some ass. Period.
And what manner are you expecting that ass kicking to take?
An overwhelming roundhouse kick to every region.
All right, so there you have it. CLG will be giving a roundhouse kick to everyone. So why support? Last I heard, you hated support.
I didn't hate support. I just was unhappy at the time. Back and living in the other house. And I think that was the first time I moved into a gaming house, so things weren't like matching up. My parents were upset. I wasn't happy because everything was just so maybe I said I hated support at the time because I wasn't happy, so I just blamed it on that, but right. Support isn't that bad. And I really enjoy like making people fed or making other people be in the limelight, whatnot. I just like to be on the side. So yeah, I'm back again. Everything is good. And now I can put 110% focus on winning.
So it's not that the support was the issue. It was that you were just not unhappy at the time. So what has changed now that you are happy about?
Well, now my parents, since they're more comfortable with me moving out of the house, and before they were unsure and like wanted me to come back every weekend or something, come say hi. But now they see how it is and that I can be on my own, so it's pretty much all right, and I don't have to worry. And before, my dad used to tell me that I should just stream all the time. Every time I'd go back, it'd be like, you should stream. You should stream. This is the most money that you can make besides or except like winning worlds or something like that on the off chance. So he wanted me to do that, but to me, I have more enjoyment playing competitive rather than streaming, even though streaming is good. You give back to the fans and whatnot, but I really enjoy competitive, and it's about what I want, really. So that's what I want to do. And I told my dad that, and he said, all right, son, go for it. So we're good.
So it sounds like you left the house for about 6 months, and then when you came back, they were like, actually, maybe you should be outside of this house.
Maybe I should be outside of the house? Yeah.
Sounds like they were cool with you leaving again after you came back.
What? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, we got you being back on CLG now. Trick Z is on the team. He wasn't around before. At least he's on the team for I Am Cologne. What's your take on him?
Trick Z, probably the most vocal player I've ever played with, besides Zuna. And he's definitely a positive influence on us. Having someone that's so vocal, it really just spreads to the entire team, and then everyone else starts talking or puts their say in. When before, if you don't have someone that's vocal, then everyone's just like, oh, stingy, doesn't want to talk. After you die, it's like, why did you do that? I knew he was coming, something like that. But having him on the team is very good, and he's a jungler that can hold his own against the other jungles. And he always does what you tell him to right away. So he won't question it. It'll just happen, or he'll tell you what he wants. And since he's so impactful with his voice, he's so loud, like speaks with authority. So it's pretty much concrete that you just do it and questions asked after.
So CLG has said that I Am Cologne is going to be sort of this testing ground for you and him. Do you think that you guys will both make it through?
I'm unsure. Really, I just want to focus on IM and hope for the best for both of us. I like him as a teammate, and I hope he gets through too. And I hope I get through too. Right. But really, we're just going to focus on winning IM and performing very well with this current roster, and we'll see what happens.
Based on the scrims, the practice, the interactions you guys have had so far, what are your hopes and thoughts going into IM?
Well, I think we play amateur team first, and then we play Fnatic. I think so, yeah. And I don't really know if Fnatic's practicing, but hopefully they are, so we can measure up how this roster does against a real world-class team. But based on the practice, I think we'll do really well and make it towards the match to Fnatic. And after that, we have 2 weeks to prepare for like actual team comp and strategies with the current roster that we have and their champions that they can play or we can play. It's really weird right now. We don't really know what we play. We just play the OPs right now and figure out who can do this, who can do what. And I've never played with Yen either, so I don't even know what he does either. So, and Doublelift and I are rebuilding our teamwork, and so far it's going better than expected. Since I played support for one entire split, I'm better than I actually was, since I had to learn the role at first, and that was absolute crap.
Right.
And now that I've come back, the things that I've learned have like sunk in, and now we're doing way better than we used to do. And I think it showed in the end of the last split as well. So I'm really looking forward to what we can do in Season 4.
You know, I tend to keep my personal opinions out of these interviews, but I have to ask you, I personally feel as though Doublelift got way better after the first split by maybe the All-Stars experience and maybe even some renewed commitment on his part in the second split. I think that there's a decent amount of people who would agree that Doublelift had, you know, an off split where after Season 2, perhaps his performance in the first split wasn't too good. That was when he was with you. So I'm curious, you mentioned that you guys think that you think that your bot lane is doing better now than it used to. Do you also think that Doublelift is playing a lot better than he used to whenever he was with you the last time?
He is playing more conservative. Before, when I used to play with him, it was always about we have to do good in lane. If we're just sitting back and going even, like, I guess he'll start panicking, and then usually I'll just go in to hopefully get something and make him ahead, since that's how usually CLG wins, is when Doublelift's ahead. Right. But now he's really conservative and doesn't really get as greedy as much anymore. So I'm able to pick what plays we can do with whenever I'm playing like a hooking champion, CC, right, whatever. So it's much easier that way. And if we do go even, then it's okay, because he'll know when I want to go in, when we can actually make a play, instead of like the communication being weird. And in the first split, since I was really learning support, I didn't know what I was doing, even though when you play AD, you're playing the bot lane, so you should like know both roles, but you don't know unless you play both roles competitively. So after the first split experience, I'm doing a lot better, and I know when to go in and when not to go in as a support and what we can take. Before, it was really hit or miss, so that's a really good improvement. And I think Doublelift is playing a lot better after he played with Special at All-Stars and learned that when a support controls the lane, that Special is really dominant and told Peter what to do, apparently. That's what he told me. That it's much better that way. So now he's letting me lead the lane when we should do things and when we shouldn't. So, yeah.
Doublelift implied, it's just funny because you said he's playing more conservatively. Doublelift implied in the interview with me that you were really aggressive now. So do you think that that's just sort of like you guys have switched roles now? Like you're the aggressor, that kind of thing, and that maybe, you know, you sense he's playing more conservatively, he senses you're playing more aggressively just because there's been a little bit of a shift on the meters for you guys?
I think that the support should always be the front runner in making the plays. If it's the AD carry trying to do stuff, then of course that person's going to get chunked first since they're in front of you. And then when he comes back because he's taking too much damage, then your support is in front who doesn't do that much damage. Right. So usually you'll lose that way. And the spring split, it was usually him in front of me all the time. I was too scared to go forward. But now it's switched, so as long as the support is making the plays, then it's easier for the AD carry to follow up on a CC where he doesn't take as much damage, so it's easier to kill people that way. If the support just takes all the damage, then your AD carry is at full life, able to do as much damage as he can and get the kill. So that's pretty much it. I just set him up, and then we get a kill, and that's pretty much it.
that philosophy that you have where you feel like the support should always be the aggressor and sort of making these plays. Do you think that applies in every single meta and in every situation where the certain supports are popular? Because obviously, like right now you see Thresh, you see Zyra, you see these big playmakers, but we don't see so much Sona and Soraka. Do you think that that's the same situation in metas or times in the game's history where we've seen these more, I guess, passive supports?
I would say yes. You play Soraka, you should take Q and push the lane up. Pretty much it. But it just depends on what champion you're playing. Zyra, if you know what you can do, then of course you can be aggressive. But it's just how you play style-wise. If you're a passive player, then you're always going to play passive and wait to react to what the enemy's doing. But if you're the aggressor and people have to react to you, then you sort of have a little surprise advantage, I guess. And they don't know what you're going to do. It's either you go for the AD or the support, and you get to choose what you get to do, and then they have to react to you. So in the past meta, if you were the aggressor back then, I think you had lane advantage back in Season 1 and Season 2. So it just depends on the type of player you are. Unless you're playing Janna, then Janna's always a reactive support. She doesn't have that much damage. And Zyra is also can be a reactive support or aggressive support, but it just depends. So now, how the meta is now, it's really fight, get towers, push. So you're always fighting. So really you pick Thresh, Annie, Sona, Lulu, etc. And those supports have tons of uppercut damage, so they're always going to be in the front. And if you don't play those correctly, then you're just going to be at a disadvantage, no matter what. So,
very good. Let's talk Season 4 stuff. So Doublelift was very excited about Season 4 and the fact that he felt as though the changes meant that supports could carry in a big way.
He was excited?
Yes. Yeah. Is that interesting to you that he was excited about that? I think he was excited about it for you.
Yeah. There we go. Now I'm excited.
Yeah. So is this part of the reason why perhaps going to support from AD carry is a little bit more interesting to you at this point?
Yes, I think that is one of the major factors.
Are you excited for the ability to do that? Do you think that you're going to be able to do the carrying as a support?
I just think it's going to be really enjoyable that you don't have to buy so many wards anymore. Because usually you spend thousands and thousands of gold on wards, oracles, the entire game, right, and you don't get to build items to do stuff. Right. And if you're behind the enemy team, then you literally have one item, and all you're doing is vision controls to get your team back into the game. But now, since gold per 10 is much more efficient, and you get gold based on creep killing, standing next to someone, etc., that's going to be much more valuable, and you'll actually feel like the support role is an actual role that you get to support your team, whether it be by damage, decent amounts of absorption from shields and whatnot. So I'm glad they're buffing supports that way.
Assuming you stay on the team, you're this guy known for making plays and for doing big things, and you're going to be laning with Doublelift. Do you think there will be a point where people will be like, wow, it's so nice of Doublelift to be sort of helping out Aphromoo while he's making these big plays and carrying the game?
I hope it doesn't come to that. Okay. Really, I think the support will still be a support role. The AD carry is still going to CS and take all the CS, but he should have more gold than you. Right. I think I looked at a screenshot and support had more gold than almost the entire team, and I'm pretty sure Riot's going to nerf that down in the back a bit. But as a support in Season 4, it will most likely be higher chances of skirmishes in bot lane. More people are going to 2v2. I don't think they'll 2v1, even though gold per 10 is ridiculous. And that would make it very easy to just sit in lane and get like 12 gold per 10 seconds or something like that. So there'll be more skirmishes bot lane, and I'm pretty sure that you still want to give your AD carry the kills. But if it goes on the support, it's still just as good if you're playing an actual carry support or actually, it doesn't matter. All sports get a buff. So I'll still want to get double with Fed, since in late game, it's usually the AD carry that just wins you the game. And the more gold that you have from assists now, I think that it'll be more viable. Oh shit! I just drew a blank. Help!
It's good. Let me ask you about what it's been like streaming for the past couple of months.
Streaming the past couple of months, I've been on and off. I don't really stream much since my house internet is absolute shit. And usually it just spikes up to 1,000 ping. But I still play the game. And I'm glad I moved into the CLG house where they have godlike internet. So streaming isn't as bad anymore. And I expect to stream a lot more. Usually, I think it's going to be every day, since I think it's 10 a.m. we wake up, go to the gym, and then we have like 3 hours of solo queue when we come back. Right. So I'll stream for 3 hours a day and maybe at night. And then Saturday is going to always be the day that I'll probably stream 8 hours a day, since it's our solo queue day. So
very good. So actually joining CLG, you'll be streaming even more than you previously were.
Correct.
Very good. And then I gotta ask, you were on Curse for about how long were you on Curse? They announced it and then you were off it. What was the timeline?
Before they announced it, I think it was like 5 days. So in total it was a week that I was on Curse and practicing, trying out, etc. And then they announced it and then kicked Pill Belter like the day of. And then the day after, they kicked me. But that was their decision to make. And Liquid told me that since Cop was in the house already, Cop is more predictable since they actually know him with how games will turn out or something like that. And he's really responsive. And since I was new, they didn't want to chance it because maybe I'm like a rager or something like that. I don't know. They just didn't know me as well. And usually when I first meet people, I'm super quiet. So that was another thing that they didn't like. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, from the time that they announced it to the time that you left the team, I mean, obviously, if that's how they felt, then obviously they had the right to remove you. But was there some particular reason that you can think of, or some event that took place that went from the time that they announced it to the time they decided to remove you that you think might have made them more uncomfortable, or maybe had those feelings a little bit stronger?
No. I just think they had 1 day left before the roster locked in for relegation. And I don't think I had a set day when I was going to move in the house. I think it was like the 16th or something. And the 16th was when I still was undecided. That's what I told Liquid. And then Zekin was supposed to move on the 23rd, and he wanted me to move in that day. And I hadn't confirmed it that I could move in that day. So maybe that, but honestly, I think Cop was just in the house. Oh, yeah, and that Cop was doing really well on the LoL Pro team. I think that was. And they were playing rank 5s, and he was doing really well and leading the team. So that was a proponent of him deciding to get Cop over me.
Yeah. So going into the LCS this year, sort of at the end of this, is this going to be, if you stay with CLG, is this going to be something that might play out where you have a bit of a rivalry with Curse? You kind of want to show them, hey, buddies, maybe you should have kept me around?
No, I don't care, really. It's a business. You should do what will make the business most profitable. So it's cool.
And you don't have any desire to make them think, oh, maybe we would be more profitable if we had Aphromoo? Especially with how much gold supports are making next season?
What the hell? Oh, my God. Well, with me, I guess it's their loss, but it's whatever. I'm just going to focus on being on CLG now. And being on CLG will definitely be a long-term thing.
Very good. Any shout-outs, plugs, anything you want to say here at the end of the interview? I don't think that you have to worry too much about sponsors because you're the new guy again.
I'm not on the team. Yeah. So shout out to my hood. I'm just kidding. What the heck? Hi, Mom. Thanks for interviewing me, Travis. And hi, Nicole.
So let's see. We got the order there. We got mother, Travis, girlfriend.
What the
I'm happy with that. Thanks everyone for watching this interview.